Well, I was very young. I wasn't involved with the building, but I watched it. And yeah, our dad at some point of the rebuilding phase of his bowling alleys, we had a fire, and in rebuilding he wanted to expand, double the number of bowling alleys that he had. So there was a wooden frame wall that was shingled. It covered one whole side of the alleys, the whole length of them. So it was a long wall. And the new wall that was 4 alleys away from that, out further, was to be concrete block. So they had to take the wooden wall out of there at some point. And when they did, they just took big saws and cut it in pieces, piled it on a big flatbed truck, and took it down to this land my dad owned it on the Niagara River. And that had been an old vineyard years and years back, and we'd spent a lot of time, a couple of seasons, clearing that place, trying to get the rocks and the old fence posts and old wire out of there, and brambles, and get it all, like a lawn almost, but to clear it basically. And so they had built the foundation and poured a slab, and we took those 4 chunks of wall from the bowling alley and made a cottage out of it and stuck a roof on it. And they had grand designs, my folks did. They had the plans for a home that was just pretty grand and a large home, and it would have fit on that property. And this cottage, this thing we were building as a cottage, was temporary, and that was going to be the garage. So that was in the plan and all part of it. But it turned out to be a little 2-bedroom, had a little closet for a bathroom, and another little closet for a shower, and semblance of a kitchen, and that was about it. And it was built as a summer place initially. It didn't have much heat, and we didn't have any heat at first, and because we just use it in the summertime. And the guys that my dad had, there were a couple of carpenters I remember that he had working on that he had used back in his business. To Bert Oswald, I think his name was, and Bert Lewis. Yeah, Bert Lewis was one guy, and Jim Jackson was the other fellow. They were both remarkable carpenters. It seemed like they could do anything with wood. And my dad admitted he learned a lot from working with them. I sure did too, watching them.